I talk about women's experiences globally. And today's conversation takes me over to Japan. One of my YouTube subscribers alerted me to this article. The title: Over half of Japanese women fed up with their husbands not doing enough chores, failing to meet standards. So, the talking points of this article: the level of dissatisfaction among Japanese women over the daily chores put in by their husbands is the highest ever, a study shows. Attitudes are changing, and more younger men are helping their partners at home, an academic says. A majority of Japanese women are dissatisfied with the amount of domestic work their husbands put in, with more than 15% reporting that their partners don't do any daily chores at all, according to the results of an annual survey. More than half, 55%, of wives in Japan were unhappy with the amount of work their husbands did at home. The study by a private research institute, Shufu Job Shoken, shows nearly 40% said that they were displeased because their spouses only gave a little help, while 15.5% said their husbands never cooked, cleaned, or took care of the children. So this is the highest level of dissatisfaction among Japanese women since they started doing this study 3 years ago. Some 16.7% of the 510 respondents said their husbands did enough and that they were satisfied with their efforts, while 28% said their partners did a little and I have no complaints. Equally, the levels of content among Japanese wives were at the lowest recorded. This woman says, "My husband does not cook, he does not do the washing, and he never cleans the house," said Fumio Hayashi, a 51-year-old resident in Yokohama City. "I admit that he takes the rubbish out every morning, but he does that as he's on the way out the door anyway. I wish he would do more, but at least we do not argue over the housework." Hayashi's husband works long hours in his job at a major car manufacturer, but she points out that she also has two part-time jobs to boost the family's finances, and she often gets home tired as well. Then she has to prepare dinner and tidy up. So women all over the place are working outside the home and working inside the home. On the plus side, if I ever tell him I'm tired after work, he always says we should go out to dinner so I can have the night off. Not helping in the household? No, let's just go out and get something to eat. The complaints listed in the Shufu Job Shoken study range from the very specific: he doesn't unroll his balled up socks and leaves them on the floor instead of putting them in the washing machine, to more general accusations such as not tidying up or neglecting parenting duties. Some women said their husbands lacked awareness of the household chores that needed to be done, meaning that the tasks were overlooked until their wives stepped in. Another source of friction was men failing to meet their wives' standards. That is something that resonates with Takako Tomoru, 43, from Kanagawa Prefecture. "My husband is actually pretty good around the home, and he regularly cleans the bathroom, toilet, Minkan, entranceway to our apartment," she said. "I appreciate that because he works hard and puts in long hours, so that is a help for me as I also have a part-time job. But sometimes I think I could do the jobs around the house quicker and better than him, so I wait until he's gone and I do things the way I want them done. I appreciate his efforts, but I'll still do it again." Sumiya Kawakami, an instructor at the Yamanashi Gakuin University who focuses on women and gender studies, said there has been a gradual change in the attitudes among families in Japan, and the couples from younger generations are better at sharing responsibilities around the home. In the past, women were usually either on the career track or the mommy track, and those who prioritized the family over career found themselves working at home and bringing up the children, she said. "But I am optimistic that is changing. I see young men doing more in the home and picking up kids from preschool, which would not have been the case a few years ago. The difference in attitudes is not simply generational, but the amount of money a couple earns is also important. People in highly paid jobs can afford to take time off, but there are many people who are stuck in low paid positions and who come home from their job and immediately have to go to their next one. These people often do not have the time or energy to do the housework." I do want to start talking about the birth rate decline. So this article, these numbers was found on Twitter from the Birth Gauge. So let's look at these numbers for Japan, since we're right now talking about Japanese couples and parenting responsibilities. If we zoom in on Japan, which is towards the middle, um, in 2022, there were 669,000 babies born in 2022. In 2023, there were 634,000 babies born. So that's around 35,000 less babies born in Japan than the year prior. So the birth rate is continuing to drop in Japan, as we're seeing in many Asian countries, and actually as we see in many countries overall. The birth rate is plummeting. And I think that women just in general are just getting kind of tired of doing the majority of the legwork. Women are just opting out. Costs are too high. The energy it takes to expend to do the parenting is just too much. And so you're seeing this in the real time numbers. So I will probably be pulling out this fertility data as we get more and more of these articles coming out about this, the changing and shifting of mindsets and how the duties at home are broken up or not broken up. So jump in the comment. Let me know what you think about this one. Don't forget to like, comment, and share. So last year, I came across a TikTok video that was talking about Japan's birth rate specifically, but it was also going into other countries and talking about how the birth rate is plummeting in other countries. So go ahead, check this video out. It is like less than a minute, so it's totally worth it, and it gives you a brief synopsis of what is going on globally.
Japan's birth rate is so low, the country's prime minister says it's on the brink of not being able to function as a society. Japan is home to the world's second highest percentage of people 65 years and over. The top spot goes to the tiny Mediterranean state of Monaco, which hardly counts. It has a population under 40,000 and a third of them are millionaires. But back to Japan. According to official data, the country's population peaked at 128 million in 2017. It's now at 125 million, and it's projected to fall to under 53 million by the end of this century. That's a serious drop, and it's hardly the only industrialized country with declining birth rates. The same thing is happening in Europe and North America. Just this month, China, currently the world's biggest country by headcount, reported its first drop in population in 60 years, and it's expected that India will surpass China's population sometime in 2023. Elon Musk recently tweeted, "Population collapse is an existential problem for humanity, not overpopulation." Do you agree?